Namaskar, and welcome once again to the D Show, where we have real, raw, and inspiring conversations about leadership, growth, and breaking barriers. I'm your host, Dr. D, and today we are going beyond the ceiling because shattering the glass ceiling was just the beginning for me. As women leaders, we fought for a seat at the table. But what happens once we are there? How do we redefine leadership, create space for others, and keep pushing forward when the challenges don't stop at the top? Well, in this episode, let's unravel what it truly means to be leading unapologetically in spaces that weren't built for us. Well, of course, from the canvas of a patriarchal society. So, whether you're climbing, breaking, or building new ceilings of your own, my dear, this episode is for you. Let's go beyond the ceiling together. Hi, Sonali. Welcome.
Hello, Dr. D. Thank you for welcoming me. How have you been?
I've been good, and I think, Sonali, because we are celebrating Women's Day, this is the perfect time to record this episode and share it with all our audiences.
I totally agree. And I really hope, in fact, I'm confident that the message you put in this episode is going to resonate with so many women and we are going to create an impact.
I hope so. Let's get started. So, as a
I know,
Gen
so,
Z,
Dr. D.
so as a Gen Z rep, and I know I'm taking this challenge by facing a youngster as dynamic and vivacious as you, who is also very intelligent and intellectual. Let's get started. What's your first question?
So, my first question is, what was the biggest barrier you faced as a woman in a business and how did you overcome it?
Wow. Okay. One of the biggest barriers I faced as a woman in business was breaking past biases, both external and internal. Coming from a background in modeling and events and entertainment industry, I often encountered hesitation about my ability to lead and scale my business. People assumed I was just a face for the company rather than the strategist behind. In fact, I remember when I started my first company back in 2009, ideation was in 2008, I pitched it to my father as the first angel investor. And he took premature retirement from the army, and that time he was working with Raw. And because I told him, I said, nobody will take me so seriously. So I need you to be the managing director of my company while I pretend to be just an HOD to make sure that my startup kind of takes off from the runway. So, to overcome this, I focused on proving my expertise through action. And I thought that let me get into the system, let me play the game how it is played currently, but let me also keep building my expertise. And over the years, I found right partnerships, I had right mentors, I deepened my knowledge, and let my results speak for themselves. More importantly, I had to overcome self doubt, the belief that I had to constantly prove myself. And once I shifted my mindset and truly owned my place at the table, I started leading with confidence and purpose. Today, my journey stands as a proof that women don't need permission. They just need to lead and they just need to claim their space and redefine the rules.
So, Dr. D, would you say that when you entered the system, was it harder as a woman and, as an individual angel investor coming from a Miss India finalist background, modeling background, and then stepping into entrepreneurship? How was it? It was very harder?
Of course, it was. I mean, the biases that kept getting thrown at me, from beauty bias to confirmation bias. We have 137 cognitive biases. It is scientific fact and knowledge. And to add to that, living in a diverse country as India, Sonali, we have so many cultural and communication biases. So it was very tough for me to lead my first company. But nevertheless, I think persistence, perseverance really paid off. And the days that I would be really down and out, both my parents, who've been leaders in their own industries, kept telling me that just keep going and making progress. Even if it is by a minuscule step forward, just keep making progress by staying positive and by persevering. And I think that paid off over the years. It's tough when you're in your 20s. It's really tough because you're impulsive and you want, quick results, but it doesn't happen like that. So I'm glad that I could overcome all those unconscious bias that I faced from my investors, from the clients, from the peers and vendors, from the students who came to my institute to learn, from the employees who came and worked in my team. So, but I'm glad that here we are. It's been quite a long journey of over 2 decades.
And Dr. D, have you ever had to fight for your voice to be heard in the boardroom? How, and if yes, how did you handle it?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, today, as a boardroom advisor, as a qualified independent director, yes, I've definitely had moments where I've had to fight to be heard in the boardroom. As a woman in business, especially coming from a non traditional background, there were times when my ideas were overlooked and met with skepticism. Instead of getting discouraged, I focused on three key strategies. Number one, commanding presence. I made sure to communicate with confidence, clarity, and data driven insights so that my ideas couldn't be ignored. Second is strategic alliances. I think I built strong relationships with key decision makers who supported and amplified my voice so that, when you have more people supporting your voice and your vision and your narrative, it becomes easier for people to take notice. And third is persistence. If my point wasn't acknowledged the first time, I found another way to bring it back through facts, follow ups, or demonstrating results. Well, over time, Sonali, I've learned that being heard isn't just about speaking louder, it's about speaking with impact and ensuring that your contributions are impossible to overlook, which means that it has to be very, very high on value.
So, ma'am, would you suggest that mindfulness also plays an important role, like it helped you to create such an interesting impact that people actually saw that you made a difference?
100%. So some people get annoyed with this habit of mine, but I'm always immersed 100% in anything that I do. And I like to fully commit in whatever I'm doing. So I'm not a huge fan of multitasking, although in my 20s I did do it. But today I feel that it's important, especially in the new normal world of today, the VUCA world of today, that we immerse ourselves, we commit, we are consistent, and we bring 100% value of what we can give or bring to any deal. And unfortunately, what happens is, Sonali, that people want you to show value. But my request to all the peers and leaders out there is that if you're looking for collaboration, if you're looking for effective partnerships, if you're looking for good client relationships, well, it's important, or even employee relationships, show what value you can bring to the table first before expecting the other person to prove themselves. Let's redefine this definition of leadership and the journey for maybe an entrepreneur or a corporate professional.
This makes so much sense, Dr. D, that you should show your value first before expecting anything from anybody, irrespective.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very well said. So, the next question I have for you is, what are the key leadership traits that women bring to the table that are often undervalued?
Well, this Women's Day, I'm going to talk about this answer in a little bit of a depth, but I hope it resonates with all the women out there. Women bring emotional intelligence, adaptability, and collaborative leadership traits that are often unvalued, in my opinion. These are personal opinions, but are critical to long term success. Women excel at leading with empathy, I feel, understanding team dynamics and making feel valued. In today's business world where culture and employee well being drive performance, this is a game changer. And for management teams who recognize this, they are able to definitely stay ahead of the curve. I also feel that women are natural problem solvers. I mean, look at our moms, look at the women that we are surrounded with of yester generations, even if they were not business leaders. Look how much with ease they manage communication, they manage conflicts at home, they negotiate. So they are natural problem solvers who can navigate uncertainty with ease. And if any organization can really tap into this from a business leader who's a woman, I think balancing multiple roles or driving change in complex environments, this ability to pivot and innovate becomes invaluable for any company. So I truly believe that women have some very, very overlooked characteristics. And the last one that I want to really talk about is that women tend to build and create rather than dominate, or you know uh, or control environment or control relationships. I think we are naturally wired to foster inclusive decision making, create strong engaged teams professionally and personally, create strong engaged relationships. This approach not only strengthens businesses but also leads us to be more sustainable, people driven growth kind of a brand. And while these traits are sometimes often seen as soft skills, and it breaks my heart that they just say, oh, these are soft skills that are there with women leaders. They're actually powerful business trends that drive innovation, that create strong trust, and that also give us long term success, whether personally, professionally, or at an organization level. So I really truly hope that my answer resonates with a lot of women leaders out there.
I am sure, Dr. D, that your answer will resonate with a lot of women, irrespective they're an entrepreneur or not. It will. And so basically, as I understood, a woman brings great balance to an organization as she does at home.
Absolutely. I think so. I mean, I respect women, and I think being a homemaker and a housewife is equally a tough job as being in business and commanding teams, or, making sure that your clients' needs are met. And I think all of these roles should be very well respected. And these women should be enabled to have a voice and a seat at the table.
Very true. 100% agreed. So, Dr. D, what's a stereotype about women in leadership that you worked to break?
Well, one stereotype I've worked to break is the idea that women in leadership must be either too soft or too tough to succeed. And it's amazing how even today I face this stereotype, because there's this outdated belief that if a woman leads with empathy, she's not strong enough. And if she's assertive, she's seen as intimidating, aggressive, or unapproachable. And I truly also sometimes struggle with this, because I've challenged this by showing that strength and empathy are not opposites to each other. They are a powerful combination and they can coexist. I truly believe that great leadership isn't about fitting into a mold. It's about owning your own unique style and delivering results in a way that's both effective and authentic. So, women don't have to choose between being respected and being relatable. I think we can be both. And my life's journey, my professional journey, my personal brand that I've built over 25 years, I think is synonymous to that. I would like to believe, and those who know me, they can probably vouch for this, that I can be, yes, empathetic, at the same time, I can be assertive. And I think being relatable and respected are just all in one. And that's what the holistic personality development I've done and I strive to do as I keep evolving over the years.
So, Dr. D, women need a chance, and empathy, being a powerful trait of hers or a strength, can also be a very powerful weapon when given a chance for her.
Indeed, of course. I think sometimes the chances and opportunities are given, Sonali, and sometimes we have to grab it. But in either of the situation, I want the young generation to understand that first, self awareness is key for any role in life. I think whether you want to be a wife or whether you want to be a business leader sitting in some top management or a CXO, you have to understand your strengths and weaknesses. You have to build on the opportunities that you have. You have to make sacrifices. You can't have it all, at least not in the world of today. What price are you willing to pay? And it could be something like sacrificing your time with your child, maybe, or with a loved one, to be able to devote that much to your personal growth. And if you are a believer, there's no way that anybody can stop you from being a mindful achiever.
And also how hard you're willing to work for it.
Of course, that is irreplaceable. In today's generation, Gen Z, they want shortcuts to success. And we are there as mentors to guide and enable them. But honestly speaking, while you might have technology tools and chat GPT of the world, but there are no really shortcuts to success. As leaders, we are also rewiring and redefining our talent retention understanding, where we need to reward consistently and sooner than annual appraisals to all our team members. But I truly believe that there's no replacement to hard work. But yes, I'm going to add a prefix to it: smart hard work. So that is also important.
Agreed. It is important. It is very important. Dr. D, what do you think that what role do men play in breaking the glass ceiling?
I'm glad you asked me this question, because I thought then this entire episode Beyond the Ceiling is becoming about just women gyan. But it's not true. There is no denying that we live in a patriarchal society. And without men being allies and enablers, it's just not possible for women like us to make it. So, men truly play a very crucial role in breaking the glass ceiling. And not just as allies, but also as advocates for us for gender equality in leadership. Firstly, I think they help us amplify our voices, and men who are in leadership positions can ensure that our ideas are heard, valued, and acted upon rather than being overlooked or credited to somebody else. They also help us in challenging bias. So many biases are unconscious, and men who recognize them, they call them out. And whether in hiring, promotions, appraisals, daily interactions, I think they help us create a more level playing field for us. And mentorship and sponsorship, I truly believe that it's also your way of giving back to the society. So it's not just enough to support women from the sidelines, men who mentor, who sponsor, who open doors for women like us, who create real opportunities for leadership growth. I mean, they are the ones who are truly helping us break the glass ceiling. So, gender equality, in my opinion, isn't a woman issue. Every time anybody invites me for a Women's Day event, I always tell them I want to address the entire organization as a speaker, not just women huddled in a room. I think it's a business and societal issue. True progress happens when men and women work together to build a culture where leadership isn't defined by gender but by capability and impact.
So, looking back, Dr. D, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Ah. Well, if I would like to give an advice to my younger self, it would be: stop waiting for permission. You don't need to prove your worth to take up space. You already belong. So, Divya, believe in your voice, trust your instincts, and don't let any doubt or anyone else's doubt hold you back. Success isn't about having all the answers from the start. It's about having the courage to begin, the resilience to keep going, and the confidence to adapt along the way.
And one more thing, Dr. D, that
Yes.
uh, Divya, you're going to be an amazing mentor and an entrepreneur. So keep going.
I wish back in the day I could, predict the future. But
Oh,
I've
we
had my
also
good
wish.
days. Good days and bad days, just like you, just like everyone else. I've had that. And I've had to, sometimes deep dive into keep myself motivated. And I'm grateful to people around me who love me and who support me.
No, absolutely, ma'am. We do. All of us have different seasons in life.
Indeed,
So,
bitter. Yes.
the last question I would like to ask you, Dr. Dewood, have you personally experienced unconscious bias in your career? Can you share a defining moment?
Wow, I think this answer is going to be super long. So we are going to stop here because I've spoken about unconscious bias, and I've had many, many defining moments. One of them obviously was when I wanted to, switch my industries from being a fashion model, a Miss India finalist, to an entrepreneur, starting my own startup, and getting into the business corporate world. And at that point in time, the biases that I've faced, and I'll be talking about them in some more episodes on the D show, they have been overwhelming at that time. But today I look back and I feel I'm glad I faced that, because today I'm creating ways and paving ways for other business leaders and trying to enlighten everyone to make it more inclusive, irrespective of where the the woman in business is coming from. So I think for the longest time in my career, the Miss India finalist title, the Miss Delhi title preceded me every time I went in for a client meeting. They checked me out on Google, and they saw my beauty and they just got stuck here and did not even reach. I mean, sometimes I had to pitch the same sentences twice to make them hear and see me, that I had a lot of gray matter beyond my facial expressions and a 6 footer tall body. But I think that unconscious bias and that stereotype I have been able to break over the years. I, therefore, out of vengeance, wanted to earn my PhD. And today, a doctor precedes my name rather than the Miss India title. And when I share it during my motivational talk sessions, is when people give me a lot of due and credit. So I've been through many defining moments. This is one of them, and I'm happy that I've been able to break stereotypes. I'm happy that I've been able to overcome biases, and I'm also happy that I'm trying to pave the way for many other women leaders who would want to switch industries, use their transferable skills, and create history and create their legacy.
Yet again, we had an outstanding episode. Thank you so much, Dr. D, for sharing such a powerful message with us. I am sure a lot of people needed it, especially women.
Thank you so much, Sonali. Wishing you a very happy International Women's Day. Do spread the word and let's keep empowering women together, irrespective of what generations they are from, whether they are a millennial, baby boomer, or they are a Gen Z, right? So, together we can
Definitely.
make each other stronger and together we can make a difference. It's been a pleasure.
100%.
Thank you for being in my studio, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Same here, ma'am. See you soon.
Bye.
In navigating the challenges of leadership, women have continuously broken barriers, amplified their voices, and reshaped perceptions. From overcoming obstacles in their boardroom to challenging stereotypes, their resilience and unique leadership traits, such as empathy, collaboration, adaptability, have proven invaluable. To all our listeners, leadership isn't just about where you are, it's about the change you create for you and the society. Thank you once again. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories and insights. And to everyone listening, keep leading, keep challenging, and keep breaking barriers.